I have seen good and hardworking people fail with their websites due to pretty simple mistakes that could have easily been avoided had they just known how to do it properly and what to look for. See, sometimes it feels like things are moving in the wrong direction when we're building our passive websites. Some of these mistakes may seem super obvious when we look at them, but trust me, they are really important to get right in order to get success. I've been building this website for a long time and I've seen some huge successes, but I've also made a ton of mistakes along the road. Let's start with one of the biggest mistakes I've made many times when I started out a new website. I think it's safe to say that the number one mistake I have made in the past, and that I see many people do over and over again, is to write on topics that are way too competitive for the size of your website. So if you're starting out with a brand new website on a brand new domain, there's simply no chance you're going to rank anywhere page 1 for a search term like best this or best that, or any other search for that matter that gets a ton of searches per month. You need to do some initial research in Google before you start writing any article, and this is not only for new websites. That's every time we write an article. We need to know what is the competition and which websites are ranking at the top of Google already. And by looking at those, you will get a good idea of whether you can rank for this search term or not. And remember, it's not so much anymore about a specific keyword. You might be thinking about, oh, if I could only rank for this word or this specific search term. But remember that people are typing longer and longer queries into Google. So you need to think about it as a topic and not so much a keyword. Make sure you cover the topic well and you make the best article, and make sure that there's not a ton of big websites up there at the top of page 1. Because in that case, you will not get to the top, especially not with a new website. Let me show you here on my screen how I do this research. So let's say I was wondering about whether I should write an article about how to tie your shoes. How to tie your shoes. So first I would notice the big YouTube video up here, since it seems like something you would show people how to do, and it's pretty hard to explain in writing how to tie your shoe, right? You could of course put in a ton of pictures like step-by-step guide, which you should definitely do if you wanted to address this article. But since we have a YouTube video up here, I think this video up here would definitely get most of the attention and the clicks from this search. But let's continue down here just to see who's ranking. So WikiHow, if you don't know them, you should. You'll meet them all the time when you do your keyword research. So I wouldn't write an article that's a step 2 guide if WikiHow is on top. As we scroll down here, we also find Instructables, Inc.com, Wired. So these articles are also kind of spot on. And Bloomberg, how to tie your shoes and lace your shoes the best way. So this would definitely be a no-go. I mean, no matter how big your site is, you're not going to rank for a search term where Bloomberg is ranking as number 6 or 7. Let's try a smaller search term. How to make shoes look bigger. Okay, that's an interesting one. So since Google is showing it in the auto suggest here, there's definitely somebody searching for it, because why else would it suggest that we click on that? Let's see what happens here. How to make any shoe fit. That's not what we were typing in here. How to make shoes look bigger. So we go down here. There's some videos. How to make small shoes fit larger. How to make your feet look smaller. That's the opposite. 5 ways to stretch your shoes. It's not the same. Shoes too tight. 7 ways to stretch your shoes. So they're not specifically talking about how to make them look bigger. They're talking about how to stretch them and how to make them actually bigger. How to make my feet look bigger. That's the first one that was actually spot on. So see, this is a forum. The thing with forum is that you can always beat it. So this is awesome. When I find a forum up here, I would definitely write this one. So the reason is that anybody can chime in here and say whatever the heck they want. So this is not good quality content in Google's eyes. It's the same as comment on a blog post. So forums and Quora and other sites where people just throw up a bunch of suggestions. This is all user generated content. When you meet that at the top of the search result page in Google, go write that article, because you can definitely do a much better job with a long in-depth article. So let's just take one more look here. Let's say we wanted to write how to make shoes look bigger. But check out this box here. People also ask. Google is telling us here that people are also asking these questions. So how do you make your shoes not look bigger? So this is the opposite, how to make them look smaller. I would probably build that into the same article and do the title something like how to make your shoes look bigger or smaller. This would be a great title. I'm sure if you wrote this, you would definitely rank for it. Let's also try and go all the way to the bottom here. How to stretch shoes, stretch. That's not what we're looking for. Shoes that make your feet look bigger. All right, that was exactly what we're writing about. So make sure to include that subtitle as well. 9 shoes that make your feet look bigger, because that's exactly what people are looking for. How to do it. And here are some shoes that actually make your feet look bigger. I'm going to do a much bigger video soon on how to find good keywords to write for, or I should say good topics to write for. So stay tuned on the channel and subscribe if you want to see more of this. The second mistake that I see over and over again is that it simply takes forever for the person to hit publish on those first articles. You shouldn't wait till you feel like it's 200% perfect. You just need to get the momentum going and start publishing articles. Now that I've written more than 1,000 articles over the last decade, I can pretty much nail it most of the time. But if you're new to this, you need to keep this momentum going so you have enough articles published in order to get some of them ranked at the top of Google. I recently shot a video about how to write faster and how to double your speed when you're pushing out content. Check the cards up here to see that video. So there's a couple of problems with this if things are just moving too slowly. So the first and the obvious reason is that you will simply not have enough articles up there in order to get the traffic. But the second thing is that if you only publish 1 article per month or 1 article per week, or if it's at that pace, you might not get the momentum that shows Google that this is a new website that's going to kill it. And it'll just take too long before Google starts trusting your website. The next thing we should talk about is link building. And this is a hot topic today. And it's something where you can easily go wrong. I have done a ton of link building over the years. That's no secret. But I tend to build fewer and fewer links. And that is because I can see that Google is getting better and better, not only at catching these links when they are natural, but also they're getting better at ranking the best content without a ton of backlinks. So you don't need as many links as you used to back in the days. So there's a real danger here to new websites. If you start your website today and within a couple of months or a couple of weeks, you start building links to this new website, it just looks very unnatural. Think about how links are built between websites organically. When somebody links to a website, it's because they found it and they thought the information was useful. So if nobody shows up on your website yet and it's very new and it's not ranking for any key search terms, it's just very unnatural to have a ton of links to it. Even like a handful of links could probably slow you way down instead of boosting your rankings. If you're new to this, I would just stay away from link building altogether and just go for teeny tiny keywords in the beginning as search phrases and target some articles that haven't been written well already. You can easily rank for these over time. Just give it some time and don't get antsy when you don't see those first visitors to your website within the first couple of months. Remember, it takes at least half a year for those first articles to start ranking in Google. If you want to see the timeline and how fast a brand new website will rank in Google without a lot of active link building, check out my video up here where I do a case study from a brand new domain with 100 articles, and I'll show you exactly how fast you can expect that traffic to come to your website. So later, as your website matures and now you have a good batch of articles up there and you're maybe seeing at least 5,000 to 10,000 page views per month. Now, if you want to, you can start building some links to your website. The way I do it is that I use Help a Reporter Out. It's HARO, in other words. This is a pretty cool website where you can find opportunities for people who are actually looking for a quote or for an expert in some fields. Let's say you have a travel blog and you know everything about Egypt or whatever, and this person is looking to write an article specifically about that. Then they might put up a request on HARO, and ask for somebody who knows what they're talking about to share some insight with them. So when you reach out to these journalists and you help this reporter out with a quote or some information for their content about stuff that you really know something about, there's a good chance that they will include this information in the article and link back to you as a source. There you have your backlink. It's a great and pretty clean way to do it. So when you do this, don't try to force the writer to format the link in a specific way or to write in specific terms. Just let these links happen naturally. Think about it as good old genuine marketing for your website. To put the word out there that you are writing about this and try to establish yourself as an authority and a brand within your niche. The next thing we should talk about is the design of the website. This is also something that can cause your website to not get that momentum going. So this is not because the readers so much think about whether your website looks nice or not. I haven't found the design of the website to do a huge impact on how long time people stay on the website or how many of your visitors just jump right out of your website after they visit it. These two metrics is what we call time on site and the bounce rate, and they directly impact the rankings in Google. But that's not so much what I'm thinking about here. I'm thinking more about the experience that people have when they see your website, when they want to link to you as a source. So if your front page and your website in general look like something from the 90s, I think people will still consume it, but people might not quote you if they don't see you as a trusted source and as a website that's an authority in your niche. If people don't trust you and they don't want to link to you as a source because they think you're a crappy old or maybe a teeny tiny website that hasn't figured out the basic stuff yet, then you will not get those backlinks because they don't want to link to you as much. Another problem here is that ad networks might turn you down if your website doesn't look clean and nice. Remember, the ad networks are working with bigger brands that want to look good on your website, and if they don't want to get associated with your web design, that's a big problem. Some of the bigger ad networks even send out your website to some of the brands they're working with for them to vet your website, and if they give you a thumbs down and they don't think you look cool enough, you will not get into AdThrive. I have a video up here you need to check out if you're going to apply for an ad network soon. That will show you how to stage your site and how to get it ready so it looks professional before you apply. What often happens when people go wrong with the design of the website is that people are trying to get too creative. They're trying to cram in too many features or trying to make it too flashy. Just go with a very simple, clean WordPress theme and do some basic things, that's all. Here's how I've set up my website GoDownsize.com with Elementor and the theme called Astra. I use this theme for most of my sites, and the ones I'm not using it for is just because I haven't changed them over yet. So this cool little animation up here is also a basic thing you can do in Elementor. I should say I'm using Elementor Pro, but almost all these things here you can also do with the free version of Elementor. I have divided the front page in different sections. So first here I have all the articles about tiny houses and small apartment living. Then I have a section about RV lifestyle and then boating lifestyle and so on. So basically what's happening here is that Elementor will pull in from a given category. And at the very bottom here, I link to some legal stuff, and it's easy to contact us and see who's behind the site. That's very important in order for people to trust your site. So here you can see an About Us page, see who's working on the site, and all the things we're proud of we put here, like we have a YouTube Silver Award for this website, and we've been featured on Netflix and so on. So this is basically just to give people a chance to get to know us, and you definitely don't need like all this fancy stuff here. Just show your real picture, maybe show your address, and make it easy for people to see the people behind the website. Otherwise, you will not be able to attract as many good quality links over time. Something else that I see people go wrong with on a new site is that they are choosing a niche that Google will not trust them with or that are too competitive. So as I showed you earlier in this video, you need to check the competition before you write on a topic. But you also need to vet the niche well to check if it's filled with huge sites that have written on all the topics out there. If this is the first time you're building a website like this, it's really important that you go for a website without a lot of competition. I can't emphasize that enough. Spend some time searching on Google for some of the main topics that you need to nail in order to get the success that you want, and see if you recognize any of the website at the top. If you know them, they are probably huge websites and I would stay away. See if you can't niche down and just find smaller topics to write about. So I also told you to stay away from topics where Google will not trust you with the content. This is specifically about medical stuff and financial stuff. If you want to write about these topics, you need to make sure that you are an established authority already online. So here you need to have a doctor's degree or a PhD, or you need to be certified in some way or another. And you also need to make sure that you can point to other websites that states that you are the expert you say you are. So it doesn't matter if you have been doing bookkeeping for 10 years if you cannot prove that online. If you want to go for these topics anyway, you need to make sure that other websites are talking about you within this industry. You need the websites to link to you to show that you had this practice, or you worked in this field, or you earned this PhD or whatever, in order to show Google that you are who you say you are. If you cannot find other websites that link to you as an expert within this field, or if you cannot get them to link to you, stay away from these topics because you won't stand a chance. The next thing that can go wrong with a new website is that people simply give up way too early. It takes time for Google to start trusting your website. And the way to do this is, as I said earlier and in other videos, to always start out with minor, teeny tiny topics that you know you can rank for. It doesn't matter if you only get like a few clicks to these articles. You just need that first traffic to start going in order for Google to see your website and see that people interact with it in a good way. As soon as you get that first traffic to your website, the bigger articles and the other topics will also start to rank eventually. So take a good look at the graph I show you in the video I linked to up here in the cards. It's a video about how to build a new website with no link building. That will show you how long time it takes before you start seeing those first visitors on your site. Now that you know exactly how long time it takes to rank a brand new website, you can prepare yourself mentally to wait 6 months before you see that first traffic to your website. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you like this video. I have a lot more coming for you.